The College Basketball Experience Preview and Picks episode for Monday, November 28th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET's now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100, get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN store and their big Cyber Monday sale, which if you're listening to this right now, that's basically today. It's Sunday night at around 10 o'clock, so on the West Coast. So, it's basically today if you're on the East Coast. If not, if you're on the West, wait a couple hours, and then boom, 20% off in the store for one day only this Monday using the code CYBER. That's CYBER at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. So grab that thing today. And remember, folks, to let it ride.
This is Martin Cleese, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Episode 4, Monday, November 28th, and boy, was it a great day today. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Kobe Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick, this is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Ooh, let's go. Let's go. Shout out to the chat moving along. Let's go. I am joined by my co-host, former video coordinator for Bob Huggins, who I know we'll be talking about in a bit, and Frank Martin, who we'll be talking about a bit tonight as well. Or no, that's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night, I believe. Give it up for host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, my guy Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great after that Mountaineer big win over the Gators. Yeah, shout out to the chat. Moneyline Mac is in a great mood after his Mountaineers got a big win tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were rolling.
Let's go.
I went 8-3 on my locks. Just absolutely killed it. We will get to the games. I see the chat moving along. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Patrick Fisher, Keith Landry. We got people in there. How do I pronounce that? Abdi Dini. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But I love Toronto. Been there before. Great city. And shout out to you for tuning in. Shout out to Joe also. The chat is going oink oink. We're rolling. Let's recap a little bit. We were on Stephen F. Austin to start things off as they beat Greensboro by 17. The Lumberjacks. I mean, those are two decent mid-major schools year in, year out. Stephen F. Austin, though, coming off of a loss, they flush the old toilet on UNC Greensboro and get it done. Shout out to the Lumberjacks. The WAC's always going to be fun. It's a shame that this conference is breaking up next. A lot of this conference will be all over in the coming years. Like New Mexico State, Sam Houston State is going to be in the CUSA next year. But the WAC is a pretty good conference in the past couple of years. Should be fun to watch this season with Sam Houston State. Seattle's not bad. Grand Canyon always has a tough home environment. And Stephen F. Austin is good. Abilene Christian, so. Shout out to Stephen F. Austin getting that dub. We were on the right side of that. We were on the right side of the Memphis Tigers and Penny Hardaway. So, I mean, big win there. He lost to Stanford would have really hurt, I think, Penny this season. So, What'd you make any of those games to start things off?
Well, Memphis got a much needed win over Stanford so that they could get 2 out of 3. That's the whole thing with these preseason conference tournaments. If you get 2 out of 3, it's a successful weekend. No, big win for the Lumberjacks because they were on the other side of things where they lost the first 2 in that MTE and they needed to beat Greensboro to at least get 1 so they didn't get swept.
Yeah, and Rhode Island covered for you.
Yeah, I mean, almost hit on the money line.
We both took Rhode Island, but I didn't bet that. BC did get the win. I was a bit surprised BC still got the win. Rhode Island hasn't been as good as I thought they would be. I know it's year 1 on Archie Miller, but they're just not there yet. But they did cover for us, so shout out to them. Shocker of the day, one of the shockers of the day, I would say, was Valparaiso beating James Madison. I will have to give Patty C a text later tonight talking some shit. But Valpo wins in overtime 81-79. A bit surprised because we had Valpo on auto fade. If you recall, we caught them a couple times early in the season, and they were pretty shitty. So what'd you make of that one? Did you get eyes on that one?
I did not. Was watching a little bit of football and then was watching other conference or preseason tournaments as well. Shocker, obviously, because you look at what Valpo has done so far this year. I mean, they lost to Chicago State just 10 days ago and then got drove by 30 by Sanford. So, yeah, no, this was a stunner.
Yeah, college basketball, man.
Yeah.
College basketball, just unbelievable so far. Missouri State took down Oakland by 12. That is one where I did not have the line on that one, and believe it or not, today's supposed to be my only day of the week off, which it's not really because I do the show. So I didn't get my pick in on this. I was asleep. So
you had a long day with college football, college basketball back to back yesterday.
Yeah, I have a good friend also from Germany that was in town, and he wanted to watch the German soccer game, so went and watched that tie. Just to go watch it tonight. Fuck it, yeah, shocker. Stetson and Campbell was quite the game here. As it went to overtime, the Fighting Camels did not cover. I took Stetson +5. You took Stetson +5, and we hit there. Holy Cross, who's been on auto fade for us. Well, all they needed was to call Tom Sawyer's brother, Colby Sawyer, and have them come play a game because I love the abbreviation for Colby Sawyer, by the way. It's coleslaw. That's fucking hilarious. Anyway, Holy Cross got the dub. Now, we were on the wrong side of East Tennessee State, Georgia. Luckily, no, you locked this, didn't you?
I did lock it in. I thought that they were right there, and Georgia with the late run to pull away late.
Yeah, the Buccaneers lose by 15 in Athens, but we were on the right side of Southeast Missouri State +4. We also like this one on the money line. They lost by 2. So, but we cashed in on SEMO, baby. I ended up pushing on Stonehill and UMass Lowell. Hilarious.
That's a push-like game.
Yeah. Middle Tennessee took care of Montana State. They've been really impressive this year. And I guess, they've over really the past decade. I know when Kermit Davis was there, and then last year they played good ball. They didn't get in the tournament, I believe. They struggled in their conference tournament, but they were a good team. They beat Hofstra by 10. They beat Stephen F. Austin by 12. They beat Montana State by 1. All 3 of those are good teams in my book. So the Blue Raiders, perhaps a team we should note moving forward. Harvard loses to Fordham by 8. I did take Harvard there. I think you took Fordham, right?
I took Harvard in the end.
Okay. My Sooners, baby. Porter Moser. Shout out to Mose. -2.5. This was a bit of a sweat, actually, man. It hit.
No, that was a hell of a game.
Yeah, it hit. I got eyes on this one, man. I watched this game. But I mean, it was a sweat. It was a sweat, but yeah, Oklahoma -2.5 cashes We did not cash. What's that?
I was saying, how about the guy missing the tip in with 2 seconds left to secure the cover? I said, oh yeah, today's going to be a good day.
Yes. But at the same time, I bet Ohio minus 15.5 against Alabama State, and they only won by 14 because Alabama State buried a jumper with about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds left. Buried a 3-ball. That one cost us, as the Bobcats did not hit. Belmont did beat Georgia State. I know we were on the other sides of that one, but we didn't bet that one. So
good game, like we predicted.
Yeah. Temple did cover as they won by 12 against Drexel. Little backyard battle there.
Yep.
St. Peter's. I'm glad we didn't bet this because St. Peter's actually showed up today, won by 14. And how about North Dakota beating Cal State Fullerton by 16?
Yeah,
didn't
see that one coming either.
They're playing better ball lately, man. The past 2 games, something to monitor as well. Hartford did not cover the big number against Colgate. And Maine, our Black Bears, they let us down. Man. They lose by 7 to Brown. They made that trip to Rhode Island. And, looking back at this game, Maine, this was a 4-point game at the half. I actually thought we had a decent chance to hit this down the stretch, but that did not come to fruition as the Black Bears lose by 7. What else can we note on? Radford by 16 against Elon. Boom. That was our
Highlanders, baby.
That was our number 1 lock. It was easy cash, man. That was my largest bet that I made all day. So it's good to get back on the right side of things. Eastern Michigan they lost to UC San Diego. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, they're on auto fade, man. They're last year's Milwaukee, like you said.
Yeah, dude, I actually bet this one. I threw. Now here's the best part about it is I did just a small wager because I was nervous about this one. So it was only a $25 wager on good old EMU. Wagner, the vacuum company, they sucked up the NJIT Highlanders team, won by 5.
A little dust up.
Yeah, and then they fixed that dust up. And shout out to I locked up and we didn't cover this game last night, but this morning when I was going through and I was looking at my card, I bet, and if you had the SGPN app, you would have gotten access to this. I bet San Jose State minus a 0.5 point against Ball State. San Jose State and Tim Miles won by 2. I actually thought they would win by more, but we still hit. I kind of think they're flying under the radar a little bit in the in the good old Mountain West this season. So Ryan says, you crazy for betting Eastern Michigan. Yeah, I know I was. But I knew that last night when I got done recording it, or when I was placing the wager towards the end of us recording it. But, I was just trusting the fact they have and I've been doing that all year. I might do it again. I'm just hoping that at some point it catches on. If not, they are going to be Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Milwaukee from a season ago. Yep. Northern Kentucky needed double overtime to beat Tennessee Tech, man. Did you catch this one at all?
I didn't. I was scoreboard watching. I was shocked that game was that close. I guess at least they got out of there alive.
Yeah. Buffalo rolled Canisius. That was a bit surprising. I thought Buffalo would win, but in the fashion that they won by 20, the Bulls seem to be waking up a little bit in the MAC. South Alabama rolled Robert Morris by 14. South Alabama was a good team. They're a good team. So I think they're going to be competing with JMU and a few other schools in the Sun Belt for the top spot. Abilene Christian hit for us in Flagstaff. I almost locked this, man. We talked about this one. I almost bet that. They won by 10 in Flagstaff. SMU came through for us. We laid that big number against Lamar. That hit.
Lamar's bad.
Yeah. Air Force hit for us -2. And then how about Auburn? If people, I think you took St. Louis, right? You took Travis Ford. I lost. I didn't bet this, but I'm saying that was a good game.
I took no, I did. I caught a little bit of it. St. Louis was right there to win the game outright. I took St. Louis because I thought Auburn might be a little bit of a hangover, the Cancun hangover, where you're at the pool all week and then you got to come back and it's like, oh, fuck, we're in Auburn now instead of Cancun and we got to play a game. So, yeah, St. Louis is feisty. They're going to be good in the A-10.
Yeah, for sure. You were also right. I know we had different picks on Oregon. Oregon took down Villanova. Wow, they might have some serious. They might not be They might not be dancing this year if they don't get their shit together. Wofford, how about that game? Wofford plus 12. Not even a sweat. They almost won the game outright against LSU, but Matt McMahon and LSU find a way to get a dub, much like the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado Buffaloes, I think, were up by 10 at halftime, but Yale plus 9.5 did hit for us as that game was close down the stretch. Buffs get the win, though, by 3. And then I think one of the games we really need to highlight tonight is Purdue winning by 19 against Duke. And I think the more impressive thing is that for the final 7 minutes of the game, Purdue shut them out. Whoa. I mean, the floor is yours on talking about how good this Purdue team. Now, I'll say this. I've seen this before where Purdue had an unbelievable regular season and they sucked in the second round of the tournament, I believe. Or that maybe it might have been the first round when North Texas bit them. But I mean, the gauntlet they just ran, pretty fucking impressive, right?
I mean, you can't do any better than what they did out there in Portland, beating Duke by 19, Gonzaga by 18, West Virginia by 12. I mean, that's a who's who on who they've gone through. They've already beat Marquette as well. Obviously, Zach Edey, he's as good as they come right now in college basketball, the 7'4" big. And he makes his free throws. So it's not like you can foul him as well, where they throw the ball and you're going to double him. You can't just put him on the free throw line because he makes his free throws as well, scores over both shoulders. Yeah, this Purdue team is really, really good offensively again. But like you said, we have seen this song and dance with the Boilermakers, whether it's losing to North Texas in the first round or Little Rock when Chris Beard was there or St. Pete's last year. So, I mean, the next thing is for the Boilermakers is can they make a run in March?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that it's just I've seen it happen with Purdue. I know it's something to monitor. And shout out, I know Patty C would be sitting there saying if we were asking him about this, he loves to see the big man relevant again. It's one of the things that has turned him off in the NBA. One of the many things I think of watching the NBA, but one of them is that the big man's not really that relevant anymore. So with Zach Edey, you do get a little throwback action there. Moving along the ranks here, I want to talk about one of the bets I lost. I had North Carolina plus 1.5, and I'm still a bit perplexed by this. They caught a goaltending, even though that might not have been goaltending. They called a goaltending, which is unreviewable. Then they claimed when they were reviewing it that it was a whistle.
Possession change, yeah.
Which was ridiculous to me. I mean, maybe Bama would have won the game. Who fucking knows? But I just thought the refs dictated the outcome of that game. And I don't know how Hubert Davis maintains his composure, because for me, I would have been lost. I would have been irate. They caught a goaltending, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, they're telling me no, that's no basket. It was an invert whistle. And what? And it's a jump ball, and the possession goes to Bama. The game was insane, by the way. This game was awesome and went to a bunch of overtimes, but for it to be dictated by an outcome of that, I thought was pretty shitty. And if luckily, I mean, I did have money on this, so I was angry, but I'm not a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. I could only imagine a diehard North Carolina fan being like, hey, what the fuck just happened? So what'd you make of that?
Well, first off, I don't know why he called goaltend. I don't know, like it wasn't even close to being a goaltend. Yeah, and then the inadvertent, that's one of the dumbest rules in college basketball, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I mean, for a game of that caliber that goes to 4 overtimes to be kind of overshadowed by how bad the officials is, I mean, it's been kind of a common theme, though, so far in college athletics this year with how bad officiating has been in college football. Now, unfortunately, it's starting in college basketball as well.
I mean, I'm with you that I think it's a block. I don't think it's a goaltend. But I guess the problem is then you would have the big man, I'm drawing a blank on the kid's name that blocked it. If he would have gotten fouled instead of the guard, so they completely changed the outcome of that. I don't know. I'm just saying, if I was Carolina, if I was a Carolina fan, if I was Hubert Davis, I would have been teed up. I would have been fucking out of the game.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Game.
You shouldn't lose possession. I'm with you 100%. Bottom line, you don't lose possession.
Well, yeah, or they would have fouled. Yeah, my thing is well, how the fuck does that whistle happen at that moment then? Anyway, great win for Alabama. That's one on the resume that I think can really bolster that because they're young. I expect them at some point, even though they look really fucking good. I expect them to have a slump at some point this season, probably in conference play. But having that win against North Carolina could mean a lot in March. So shout out to the Tide.
And the Tar Heels walk away from Portland losers 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that Alabama team's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them.
It's a good NATO team.
Yeah. Yeah. Milwaukee. Wow. I took this on the money line on the picks, but I mean, I didn't bet this. They beat Boston by 21, held them to 46 points. Shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to the fucking Milwaukee Panthers. Hofstra got it done for me. Speedy Claxton. I had a feeling. He was going to bounce back and get that dub. Yeah. Idaho State and Central Arkansas. I believe I pushed on this. I had 4 points in the Bengals of Idaho State, so that was a push. Delaware and Penn. I was a bit surprised Penn beat them the way that they did. By the way, Hofstra didn't cover, so Quinnipiac got the cover. But yeah, Hofstra got the win, which I think is the more important thing there, unless you bet that one. Lockwise though, I mean Towson -4.5. Boom. They win by 10 against Mercer. Get that shit out of here. All right. I locked up Miami -1. Boom. They win by 2 against UCF. Thought that sweat was a little more intense than I thought it would be. How about Siena? Can we talk about Siena here? Because I mean, I took Siena plus the 14.5 points, but they won outright against Seton Hall.
Yep.
That was pretty fucking impressive. So they have wins over Florida State and Seton Hall in the past week. I know Florida State's down, but I don't give a shit. If you're Siena's athletic director, you're fucking doing backflips right now. Should we worry about Seton Hall?
Yeah, a little bit. A little inconsistent under Shaheen Holloway so far to start the tenure there at Seton Hall. But, I mean, back to Siena, I mean, that's a great trip for them, winning 2 out of 3 in Orlando over 2 high majors.
Yeah. Another team that looked good to me, and luckily we learned from our first mistake, was Arizona State. They blew out Alcorn State, covered that 17.5. And maybe the Sun Devils are coming into their own. I'm not sure. I'm always reluctant to feel good about a Bobby Hurley coach team unless he's in New York City or Jersey. But I know it's just Prairie View or no, Alcorn State. But either way, Alcorn's had some moments this year. Nice win for the Sun Devils.
Agreed.
We need to talk about Portland almost beating Michigan State, man. Did you get eyes on this game? I watched this game.
I did. Thrilling end. I mean, they were down by double digits with about 6 minutes ago, and then storm all the way back just to miss it right at the end. Tom Izzo's bunch barely survives. They played that game in Portland's gym, which I thought was good.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I love that, yeah.
I am still perplexed. One of the more shocking things to this college basketball season, obviously you have Louisville and Florida State and Cal Berkeley. Vermont is one for me. That I am shocked that they are as bad. See, they started the season off with a blowout win against Brown, and then they took a West Coast trip where they played St. Mary's, Cal State Fullerton, and and USC. They almost beat USC and Cal State Fullerton, but they didn't. And then they came back home, got Iona, got Yale. Then they found a way to beat Ball State, but then UNCW got them. Long Beach State blew them out by 20 tonight. This is the worst I can remember Vermont in a long time, man.
They usually don't lose 7 games the whole year. Them to be 2-7 after Thanksgiving is stunning. So they got Northern Vermont coming up, so they'll get right there. And I think they could go on a little streak here with Merrimack, Dartmouth. Actually, they got Colgate after that. So
yeah,
this is not a good Vermont team for their standards.
Yeah, 100%, man. How about Incarnate Word as a double-digit dog? Grambling beat Colorado early this year. Incarnate Word is a 10-point dog. They win outright against Grambling. Shout out to Incarnate Word. Yeah, the Airport won by 11 as well, which I was on EW. I mean, I didn't bet that, but we did bet these games. Well, first off, Bellarmine covered, but we bet New Mexico minus the points, and boom, the Lobos came through. Oh, hell yeah, man. This team is legit, man. I watched a little bit of this game.
Big time.
They're good. They're really good. I think they couldn't be a tournament team this year.
I'm with you 100%. I mean, it's 3 straight wins, actually, even dating back to the SMU. 4 straight dominant wins over SMU, Jacksonville State, who's always decent in the ASUN, North Dakota State, and now Northern Colorado. And they're, I mean, like I just said, like they're putting it on these teams. 20-plus point win. So, yeah, Richard Pitino's got that thing rolling right now, and they got St. Mary's next. So, looking forward to previewing that one later in the week.
Yeah. Fairfield took down Evansville. And then we got to talk about this one. I locked this up. Nebraska minus 1.5 as they win by 17 against Florida State. I mean, are we at the point where we might see Leonard Hamilton fired this year?
We it's funny because we both joked when we did our locks last night. We're locking up Nebraska -1 against Florida State in the state of Florida. It's crazy that we've gotten to that point where we're locking Nebraska as a favorite in the state of Florida. But I don't know if they would fire Leonard Hamilton, but man, it's bad right there. Them and Louisville have been atrocious so far. And I mean for Florida State, they got Purdue next.
And Virginia after that.
Yeah. And then they get Louisville.
And I'm hoping that's gonna be the game of the year.
It's a lock off there.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be
flip a coin for which side we're taking.
So yeah, exactly. Nebraska covers the 1.5 for us. How about the Zags? They survived. I thought they were going to lose this game for a minute. For a minute, I thought Xavier was going to win this game. But they get it done. I'm still not high on the Zags. I laid the 7. That did not come to fruition. Musketeers get the 4-point, or I'm sorry, the Zags get the 4-point win.
Yeah, I mean, Timmy's got to be Superman for them right now. They got to get some more consistency at the guard play. This is not a Mark Few's got some work to do with the Zags team, I think, for their standards, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's funny coming into the year. You know, I don't know if it was shows that I was listening to or just running into some of my college basketball friends that cover the sport also, and they're like, "Hey, Zags, man, this is the year they win the Natty." No. I don't even think they're going to get to the Sweet 16 with this team right now. I mean, it all depends on matchups, but there's definitely some red flags going on there. UNC Wilmington. What's that? What were you going to say?
I said they better get better fast if they're going to come to the Big 12.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
UNC Wilmington was catching 9 against North Texas. I took the points. They won outright. It's a great win for Wilmington. Remember, I think I don't know, 10 days or 12 days from now, I'll be at a game in Wilmington if all goes right. Anyone in the area, hit us up. Dartmouth beat UTSA outright. I believe I gave that away as a money line play potentially last night. West Virginia. Let's talk about this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you held Florida to just 55 points. It was a 30-point win or a 29-point win, I think.
Yeah.
Trey Mitchell. They've gotten the best out of Mitchell. I know he struggled a little bit in Austin last year. A couple of years ago, he was in UMass in Amherst. He seems to be playing pretty damn good ball this year.
Yeah, no, and I mean, they're old. Eric Stevenson, transfer from South Carolina, has been awesome. Emmett Matthews comes back from Washington. Joe Toussaint from Iowa, and then Kedrian Johnson as well. they're old. They got depth. They got size. They're athletic. This looks like a vintage Hugs team, and I think they're just going to get better and better with all these transfers. For them to already be playing this well is encouraging for me.
How about 20 points off turnovers to 6 with Florida? 12 offensive rebounds to just 4 for the Gators. Everywhere you looked in this stat sheet, you saw a pretty dominating performance. Florida only shot 12% from 3. Great defense, and I love to see Hugs and the Mountaineers rolling. Speaking of rolling. Speaking of rolling, and I know we shared a text message earlier today about our top 5, right?
Yep.
I'm pulling it up right now. So you said your top 3 for you, or top 4 for you, is Texas 1, Houston 2, Purdue 3, Virginia 4. And I bounced back saying Virginia 1, Houston 2, Texas 3, Arizona 4. And then I was like, wait a second, I think Purdue definitely deserves to be in the top 5.
And I forgot about Zona too.
Well, I think we might be forgetting about another team that we might want to start considering. I guess maybe they're not there, but maybe 6 or 7 or 8. And that's the UConn Huskies, because they put it on. They put it on. I took UConn. I know you took Iowa State, but man, 18-point win against a pretty quality team. The Cyclones there. I remain impressed, with the Huskies. And by the way, Portland State's about to complete the sweep on Oregon State as they're up 13 with about 5 minutes left in that game right now. Hilarious. Biggest takeaways, game balls today. What are you doing?
I mean, let's start with UConn right away. I mean, for them to go to Portland, and they dominated Iowa State and the Cyclones, who just had the big win, but they also beat Alabama by 15. They beat Oregon by 24 in the opening round. But the other game ball I'll give out, it's got to go to Purdue. So Purdue and UConn both winning the PK Classics, because there were 2 different brackets. Those would be my 2 biggest winners of the day. And then in my biased game ball, we'll go to my West Virginia Mountaineers and Hugs, putting it on the Florida Gators by 30.
Yeah, I mean, that was super, super impressive, man. I'm going to give out a couple. What's that? Go on.
I said Noah and I texted back and forth going into the game. I was like, I'm worried about this game. This game's going to come down to the wire. And I was shocked that they beat Florida the way they did.
I mean, you and me both. I thought it'd be a game. We picked West Virginia, but I thought it would be a game. I think for me, the game ball, I'm going to go to the mid-major ranks. I feel like a lot of times we don't shine enough of the light on the mid-majors. And I think you got to consider a couple teams here. First, Siena. Siena wins, beat Seton Hall, beat Florida State. That's 2 gigantic wins that if you're a part of this Siena team, that you're going to remember the rest of your life. Beating 2 teams that are power programs that, funnel millions of dollars through their programs. Awesome. And then the New Mexico Lobos, I think, are worthy of a lot of attention right now on the college basketball forefront. You won't see them probably talked about much on ESPN, but they deserve to be talked about because they are fucking rolling. And I'm actually considering going to a game at the Pit. I haven't had a chance to go to the Pit. I still might be able to find a way to get up to the Pit at some point, because I'm super impressed with that team thus far. And I'll even throw in a third one. Valparaiso, 10.5-point dogs. You beat James Madison team that looked pretty fucking good. So shout out to them, getting a big win there with that program. And all right, let's hop on over and talk a little Monday basketball. And what music should I give us tonight? I know what I'll do. I'll go back to the old gamblers here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the gamblers.
Oh man, how the 80s were fucking ridiculous with that song. Next up, Monday, November 28th. By the way, what was your locks record? I had an 8-3 night on my locks. Really had a great night. I needed that night after 2 bad days in a row. Maybe I had a little too much turkey. What's that shit they put in turkey to make you fall asleep? Maybe that played a role. I'm going to blame it on that. How'd you do that?
I was 10-4-1, so this was a big-time winning night for the college basketball experience. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right, so tomorrow, I love the fact I see this when I wake up here on the West. I know for you, you got to wait a little bit. I get an 11 a.m. game, UC Davis and Boston. I mean, we've said this forever. Give us more daytime daytime sports. I don't give a shit if it's. I don't care. Give me whatever sport. Yeah, weekday games. I'm all on board. I'm all on board, especially when you have 360 fucking teams.
No
UC
doubt.
Davis in Boston. Are you seeing a line on this? I am not seeing a line on this right now.
I thought I saw UC Davis was -2.5.
Can we confirm that? If so, I don't see much out there right now. Believe it or not, on the. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm looking under college football. I'm a fucking idiot. Hang on.
Yeah, 2.5.
I'm looking under college football. Okay, so 2.5. UC Davis. Give me Boston to bounce back, cover the 2.5. No, yeah, I will. I'll go with Boston. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Boston as well. They've lost 2 close ones to start so far in this MTE. They need this one, so I'll take Boston, the Terriers.
Yeah, might as well ride that plus 120 on the money line there. Next up, we get Dartmouth. Once again, this is 1 o'clock for my time. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock for you. Dartmouth, the Big Green, taking on Grambling. I believe this is obviously one of these neutral site games in San Antonio, Texas. Check out that river walk. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go Dartmouth here. What are you doing?
I went back and forth on this one. Grambling obviously coming off the tough loss to Incarnate Word. Dartmouth pulling the stunning upset. I'll go Grambling.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not touching any of those first games. Bet what? Actually, maybe I'll bet UC Davis Boston. Should we bet UC Davis Boston? It's the only game I want.
Yeah. I'll lock up Boston. Let's go. It's a standalone game. Got to lock it up.
I'm with you. Let's go.
Money line.
The Boston. What are they?
Terriers.
Terriers. Yeah, I almost said the fucking Bruins. Let's go. Let's go to Boston. All right. Fun town to drink in.
Dirty water.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Sacred Heart, who's hosting Western New England. Shout out if you go to that game, please tag us on Twitter. I'll send you a fucking shirt. Okay, Big Ten ACC Challenge starts tomorrow. It doesn't go like Tuesday and Wednesday are the real banger nights, I feel like, but we do get Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, heading to Blacksburg. They're getting 13.5 points, man. And I'm going to take the 13.5, man. I think Virginia Tech wins. Give me the Hokies by like 8 or 9. I don't know. Minnesota hasn't looked great the times I've checked them out this year. And I watched that, what was that, Western Michigan season opener. Yeah. And I believe I caught a little bit of another one that they sweated out to, who was it? Cal Baptist. The Cal Baptist game. Give me the Gophers with the points, though. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll take the points as well. Virginia Tech obviously coming off an almost stunning upset to Charleston Southern, so I do expect them to bounce back here.
Yeah. ULM is taking on the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane's laying 19.5, man. It's tough to lay 19.5 with Tulane, man. I tried to do this, I think, the second or third night of the season. I ate shit on this. This is at Devlin Fieldhouse. I like this Tulane team. I really do. But at the same time, Jalen Cooks, I don't know if him or Percy Daniels will be playing. I think they have another guy who might be out too. Give me the points. It's a fucking in-state little brother. I know ULM sucks ass, but I still just think give me
horrible.
The points. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I was going through Monroe's stuff today. Only win so far over Dallas Christian and Central Baptist. So shout out to those two schools. I'm going to lay the points, actually, because I just think Monroe's auto-fade at this point. They got drilled by A&M and TCU, so I'll take Tulane.
All right, you sold me.
Yeah. Too big to lock, though.
No, don't lock that. I got bit by Tulane laying a big number. Oh, but speaking of locks, this is a little wild here. Marist is laying 7 against the Columbia Lions. Man, I don't know that they should be laying 7. As much as we've had Columbia on auto fade. Yeah.
They've actually looked all right lately, Columbia.
I know, man. I think you have to take the points. I think I got to take the points here.
I lean the points.
Marist wins. Yeah. Columbia keeps it close. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you here.
McNeese is taking on the Skyhawks of UT Martin. McNeese is catching 7.5. UT Martin's burned us a couple times this year. However, I think McNeese sucks ass. I will lay the points with the Skyhawks. What are you doing here?
I'm with you, man, in terms of Martin burning us. That's why I'm going to take the Cowboys just to cover. I think this one will be close. Neither of these two teams are playing well.
Incarnate Word. This is a little battle of San Antonio here. Incarnate Word located there in San Antonio, Texas, as well as UTSA. The Roadrunners, meep motherfuckers. 9.5 is what UTSA is laying. I know Incarnate Word sucks, but they just pulled out a big win. I'm taking the 9.5 with Incarnate Word. What are you doing here?
Is this line not reek in terms of why this number is so high up?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take the Roadrunners. I'll lock it up because I'm trusting Vegas. Yeah, let's go. They need a win bad. They've lost 2 in a row. They desperate spot here.
Meep, says Moneyline Mac. Lay the 9.5, you crazy bastard. All right. Next up, we got Omaha taking on the Mavericks there. The Omaha Mavericks taking on Hail State. Hail State's laying 24.5. Oh, man.
Omaha's bad, too.
I'm laying
although they've won 2 in a row.
I'm still laying the 24.5. Chris Jan's defense, too much for them. I just wonder. It's a lot of points for Mississippi State to lay because they're not like a scoring juggernaut.
Yep.
Man, you know what? Give me the points. Give me the points. I'm switching. Give me the points. Mississippi State wins by 22. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm going to lay it, but I don't love it just because Mississippi State does struggle to score, but Omaha's been really bad, and I do like that Mississippi State defense.
Yeah. Southeast SEMO, our boys, the Redhawks, taking on the Milwaukee Panthers. Milwaukee look good, though. Milwaukee's laying 1.5. Give me SEMO. Do we lock this? But I don't know. Milwaukee looked good today, man. They look really fucking good, man. I'm taking SEMO. I don't know.
It's hard to get a grasp on these where you got to play 3 games in a row and you're on the 3rd leg of the tournament. So I'm going to lean SEMO, but I'm not going to lock it up just because Milwaukee has looked good recently.
Yeah. Texas Southern is catching 23 at Kansas. Give me the 23. Kansas don't look the same right now. I think Kansas probably wins by 19, 20, something like that. I'll take the 23 with the Tigers. What are you doing here?
I struggle with this one because Kansas, the first thing I thought of, Kansas off a loss smash spot, but you're right. They haven't looked good recently. I'll take the points as well.
Troy is taking on Arkansas. Oh man, they're back from Hawaii. They got to get up for Troy. Give me Troy plus the 18.5. Arkansas wins by, 15 or 16. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I like fading teams coming off the big Maui trip. I'll take Troy. Do we consider locking this one? That's a lot of points. Troy's not bad.
That place gets lit.
Yeah, you're right. They could go on like a 15-0 run and backdoor cover.
You never know when a fan just might grab a raccoon and get a standing ovation. That shit happened at the Arkansas college baseball game this year.
I love the Muss Buss.
Yeah.
They're wild down there.
Did you catch that
I did.
Oh, man, that was fucking hilarious.
It was great.
I don't know if you know the follow-up story is that dude checked himself later in the night after he got a standing ovation. He checked himself into the fucking hospital because I think that shit.
I got bit.
He got rabies or some shit. Oh man, I hope it was worth
it. Just another day in Fayetteville, baby.
Went home to the wife. Is something wrong with you? No, you're foaming from the mouth, honey.
Big Suey, baby.
Shut up, bitch. No. Oh man. Pitt is taking on Northwestern. Oh man. I cannot believe Northwestern's like 8.5 against Pitt.
Here we go.
What has happened to this program? If you would have told me this 10 years ago, I would have said you're fucking crazy. This is unbelievable. Go back to the days when I first started watching college basketball in the 80s. I mean, Pitt was a good team all the way up until recently. This is crazy. I'm taking the points. No, but Northwestern looks good this year, man.
I know.
I'm taking the points. What are you doing here?
I'm going to continue to fade the teams coming off the island trip. They're coming off Cancun, so I'll take Pitt to cover the 8.5.
Yeah. Longwood,
but I'm not locking Pitt. Fuck
yeah,
Pitt.
I have 0 locks so far. Longwood has taken on San Diego, the Toreros. Steve Lavin, they burned me the other night. Longwood's not bad. San Diego's laying 4. I'm gonna lay the 4 with San Diego. Wait, is this actually in San Diego?
This is it. This is in San Diego. Hey, Longwood's coming off a big win over Mary Baldwin. I knew her once.
Yeah, Mary Baldwin. She got around, man. I'm laying the 4. I'm not locking it though, man. Longwood's better than I thought they would be. What are you doing here?
So I like this team under Steve Lavin. They've lost 2 in a row. Long trip for Longwood. I'm gonna lock it up. Give me San Diego minus a 4.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
They lost again. All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
On a night where I need to make some bets, let's go. Give me the Toreros. Oh, don't offend me with this next game because the locks might start flowing now.
I know what game you're talking about.
Sam Houston State's a dog. I get it. Steve Alford, Nevada, have been, getting Jared Lucas, the transfer from Oregon State. It was key. They're 6-1, but Sam Houston State is my team. Preseason, I was repping them. They're getting 2.5. I say fuck the points. Ride the plus 122 on the money line. Let's go. Lock it up with my Bearcats. Make a little trip to Reno. Do some meth. Beat the Wolfpack in basketball. I don't know. Maybe take a shit in the parking lot somewhere. I don't know. What are you doing here?
I'm with you. Let's lock it up. Sam Houston State.
Let's go. Let's go.
On the money line.
Yes.
That's our team.
Yeah. Let's fucking ride. Cal Poly is taking on Pacific. Pacific's been a bit of a mystery lately.
No doubt.
Pacific looked really good when their coach, this sounds bad, but like their head coach had some health issue. I think he had like pneumonia or something. They went out to the Dakotas and they look really good. They come back, coach gets healthy. They look like shit. You figure it out. Cal Poly's not very good though. I want to lock up Pacific so bad, but they just have sucked lately.
3 in a row. Lost 3 in a row. Yep.
Cal Poly's got what? A win over Idaho and a win over Bethesda.
Bethesda.
I mean, on a night where I'm looking for bets, give me Pacific -6. They're at home in Stockton. What are you doing here?
I'm gonna lean Pacific, but like you said, they have not been good to us as of late. So I'll resist locking them. I got one more lock though.
Oh, final game of the night. I'm assuming it might be this one. The Redhawks of Seattle. They head right down the road in Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies. This game is actually pretty. I'm going to be watching this one. Yep. Washington's laying 5. We've talked about this already this season. Seattle's undefeated. We mentioned the WAC earlier. The WAC's going to be a lot of fun, in my opinion, this year. Really, I liked it last year too. I'm very excited to see this matchup because Seattle has a couple guys that have been lighting it up. Cameron Tyson at the guard spot, and if you watch any of San Diego State basketball, Darian Trammell, they're one of their better players was a transfer from Seattle. So this team has had some guys, and I even like the other kid. What's his name? Schumacher. I feel like I'm fucking watching the Indy 500 when I read his stat line every week. But he's pretty good, man. He's pretty good as well. I'm gonna take the 5 with the Redhawks. A little brother matchup plus the 181 on the money line. What are you doing here?
Yep, I am locking up Seattle, the Redhawks. This is a look-ahead spot for Seattle or Washington.
Moneyline Mac locking up the Redhawks. Look ahead spot. What Pac-12 game on deck or what?
Pac-12 game on deck. They just got done in Hawaii. Successful trip out there with St. Mary's and Fresno. And they've already lost to the WAC with Cal Baptist. So second loss to the WAC. Let's go. I love fading the Pac-12.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna bet this one, but get the app. Maybe I'll bet it. I don't know. I don't have that many locks.
I was going to say you probably will in the end because it'll be a standalone game to end the evening.
That's true. I got to figure something out. But to recap my locks, because that's our slate for Monday. Tuesday's fantastic, but Monday's a little light. Maybe you make it a movie night with the wife is what I'm saying. No, what do you? I don't know. You could always make it a movie night and I don't know. Put the phone by the couch. Maybe she doesn't see it. Oh, this movie's great, honey. It's really great. It's really great. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just watching this Dartmouth Grambling game. And shout out to the fan. I got a message for last week when I went to that Loyola game. Shout out to the fan that so remember that Loyola game I went to like the day before Thanksgiving. The game went to overtime against Towson. It was a wild game. It really was. It was a great game to go to. We had a fan DM me while the game was going on. And he goes, dude, I'm up here on my roof putting up Christmas lights, and I'm sweating out this game on my phone. It made me think of Clark Griswold, man, Christmas Vacation. I'm like, dude, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to be responsible for some dude's going to like fall off and break his neck or something, all because of a fucking a Morgan State moneyline play that I put out. But shout out to those fans. Those are the ones I care about. I love that story there, and I hope
true D-gens.
Yeah, I hope you took the points too, so you didn't totally eat shit on that one. And then hope your wife was happy with your Christmas light. I don't know what the fuck. What am I talking about? Your Christmas light arrangement. How about that? What lockwise? Let's fire away. We're locking up Boston plus 2.5. My hunch on this one. They just got their ass whooped. They've been pretty decent this year, but they just got their ass whooped. They bounced back. I like them plus 120 on the money line. But it's a standalone game. So it's not like I feel great about it, but I am locking it up because what else you got going on Monday? All right. Lock it up. Might as well sweat out something while the day rolls along. You're sitting in your fucking cubicle. I don't know, whatever your job is. Maybe you're overseas deployed. Who knows? Anyway, that's one of my locks there. I'm locking up. Man, I almost feel like you talked me into San Diego -4. I'm betting San Diego -4 against Longwood. They've lost 2 in a row. Bounce back spot. Steve Lavin's been on the show before. I should pay my respects, I guess. Sam Houston State, I'm locking up on the money line as well, but also 2.5 is what they're getting in Reno. I'm locking up the Pacific Tigers -6. You know what? I'm going to bet one more fucking game. All right. I don't know what it is. Give me a second here as you rattle off your locks right now. Moneyline Mac, fire.
Yeah, I'm going to join you on that early standalone game. I'm going to lock up the Boston Terriers plus 2.5 against UC Davis. Take the money line as well in a bounce back spot. I'm going to take another team that needs to bounce back, the Roadrunners, UTSA, -9.5 against Incarnate Word, coming off their big win. I'm also locking up San Diego and Steve Lavin -4 over Longwood in a tough road trip for Longwood and a bounce back spot for Steve Lavin and company. I'm taking Sam Houston State plus 2.5 in Reno, Nevada to stay unbeaten. Take it on the money line. And last but not least, the Seattle Redhawks plus 5 in Washington. Little brother, big brother angle. They win it outright, and the Redhawks stay unbeaten.
Boom. Yeek Lie dropped in the chat. He said, ride UT Martin. Thank me later or cuss me out later. You know what? Skyhawks have burned me this year, but I like to give opportunity for revenge.
Yeah.
Give me a bonus lock of UT Martin minus the points against McNeese, baby. I see some people betting on the World Cup. Also, check out the World Cup Gambling Podcast and the Soccer Gambling Podcast on our platform. I think you will enjoy it. They've been pretty fucking fire. Billy Bahati, some of our other Malcolm. Check out that. But yeah, those are the locks for tonight. Subscribe to the college basketball experience. Subscribe to the college football experience. Big week for us as we got obviously conference championship week going on. So subscribe over there. Also check out the college baseball experience with Noah Beanick. I know right now it's kind of a dark time there, but the season's around the corner. Be swinging away in February. And what's that UT Martin line at? I believe it was 7.
7.5 or 7. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Let's ride with the Skyhawks. And what else do we got here? Guys, what are you doing right now? Right after this episode, could you get over to iTunes? Just give us a little 5-star review. Is that too much to ask? It's the holiday spirit, right? It's the holidays now. I had to go get a Christmas tree today. All right, there we go. He's got a Christmas tree already up.
Yeah.
He's getting it done over there. All right.
Hail the Redskins.
Yeah, handle the fucking Redskins there. All right. I love the did we go down this rabbit hole where was that you I was talking to? And like look, I was a gigantic Redskins fan before Dan Snyder. And when Dan Snyder came,
it was me. Yep.
I abandoned ship back in like the 90s. I like to think I was the first to leave. But the other day it was hilarious because I found myself in a situation where I was defending Dan Snyder, which was ridiculous because it's Dan Snyder, right? I mean, I probably don't think he's a pretty good human being. If I had to bet, probably not a very good human being. But I felt like the media had it out for him. And even in our studio, we were arguing. And I was like, dude, everyone was siding with Jim Ursley. Jim Ursley. Do we know the history of Jim Ursley? He was like,
oh, he's a clown.
Dude, he's had like bodies found in his fucking house. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Like, all of like Twitter was like, yeah, Jim Ursley, man, we side with you. And I'm like, look, Dan Snyder might be a piece of shit, but I don't think he's as big as a piece of shit as Jim Ursley. And it was just a ridiculous argument of like, I was like, man, most of these NFL owners probably got some dirt on them. I mean, and then what happens in the past week? I mean, shit. Jerry Jones, you see that news?
Yeah, I saw it briefly come out. I didn't dive into it yet.
Absolutely hilarious, dude. I mean, not hilarious for that it actually happened, but hilarious that they're calling out Dan Snyder and this guy's in like Montgomery, Alabama, or wherever the fuck that was, not okay with integration. So it was like, I mean, I don't know. Hey, end racism in the end zones, right? Meanwhile, your most powerful fucking NFL owner is a guy who's like not cool with with black people and white people being in the same school. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I don't know. Did you catch any of that shit, man? And I know you hate Dan Snyder too, but at the same time, I never thought I'd be in a situation where I was defending Dan Snyder.
Yeah, no, I fucking hate Dan Snyder. He's literally so many fans like you. He's killed this franchise. But yeah, no, it's I didn't catch much of the Jerry Jones thing. I saw it come across the ticker or the headline. They tried to bury it. All those NFL owners are corrupt.
Dude, one of the best ones ever was like the Me Too shit started, and Jerry Richardson, the owner of the Panthers, he just up and sold the team like over a weekend. Normally these teams, it takes like 6 months a sale to go through. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're selling. It's up for the Me Too movement shit started, and Jerry Richardson was like, he just picked up. He's like, he saw some of the other guys. They were knocked down. He calls up. He's like, hey,
my money.
Sell the fucking team, honey. Sell it now. All right.
He's smart, man. He said, give me my money. I'm the fuck out of here.
Oh man, shout out to all these scumbag fucks. And those people calling out Dan Snyder. I just think they should be aware of what team they root for. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Anyway, folks,
you never know what that Jaguars owner's got going on. All these guys got stealth.
Oh, come on, They've all been to Epstein Island, man. All right, folks. Have a wonderful night. We got Monday Day Basketball. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as well, and the NFL Gambling Podcast. Check out all of Ryan's work. He's got the Ryan and Rush Show as well. You can find Ryan on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. You can find me on Twitter at TheColbyD, and the College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us all a follow, and come talk college hoops with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right. I think that does it for our night. All right. This is the College Basketball Experience for Monday, November 28th. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit the minute that I seen your grill again. It made me good trip, good dog to mind back like dog but wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit me can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive.